Anthony, we're back at it again with the podcast.
Oh god, no, I thought I escaped last time.
Nope, you're back. You're not used to doing this. Alan is used to doing this, but Alan's somewhere in China doing something.
I mean, probably promoting communism, knowing him.
Oh, yeah, you're probably right. He does love that communism.
Anyway.
We're going to fly through the news because we're going to talk about Civil War.
Alright.
Okay. So, Alden Ehrenreich was officially cast as young Han Solo.
I'm just not really excited about that movie in general. Han Solo has always kind of been, to me, just one of those characters that is just awesome because we can imagine where they've come from, and we
Agreed.
don't know. So, I mean, like, I just don't know how to feel about this whole young Han Solo film in general.
Agreed. I think it'll be cool, but who knows?
Well, look, at this point, it's like, I don't know. I'm waiting for the writing, but I just don't know, man.
Well, it is written by Lord and Miller, who wrote 21 and 22 Jump Street and directed them. Or maybe it's being directed by them and written by... Oh, no, it's written by Lawrence Kasdan and directed by Lord and Miller.
What did Lawrence Kasdan do?
He co-wrote all the original trilogy and Force Awakens. And he's doing Episode 8 and Young Han Solo, and then he's leaving. He did not do any of the prequels because George wanted to write them all himself.
Man, we all know how that turned out. All right.
Oh, yeah.
Well, okay, so, I don't know. At least they cast it well, I guess.
Yeah. I heard he's the best part of Hail Caesar, which is really good.
I mean, I've never seen Hail Caesar.
I mean, not that the movie's good, that he's the best part is really good.
Alrighty
They
then.
cast, like, a best actor in a movie. Okay, next piece of news. Did you hear that the Flash director, Seth Grahame-Smith, left the movie due to creative differences?
The Flash movie?
Yes.
Why?
He left due to creative differences.
And that's
It was
all
also,
that's
all they said. But it was also supposed to be his directorial debut, so that could also be a reason. They wanted, like, people with more experience. His only other big credits at least, were writing Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter and Pride and Prejudice and Zombies.
Yeah, those aren't really great writing credits when you're trying to build a multi-billion-dollar movie franchise.
Definitely not. But
I
then
don't know. Abraham Lincoln. What's funny is that both of those things had pretty solid source material.
they were just written terribly as movies.
Yeah, and like I know it sounds weird when I say that Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter was pretty solid source material, but like it was pretty well written. And even Pride and Prejudice and Zombies like really felt like a B movie, which was awesome. So I don't know, man. I don't know, man.
Well, then there were rumors circulating that James Wan was going to leave Aquaman, but he quickly cleared that up. Took a picture of himself leaning against a giant image of Aquaman.
Glad to
Said
hear it.
he was working on The Conjuring 2, but he would be getting to Aquaman shortly, or something like that.
Why are we getting a second Conjuring?
Well, it's based off a different story. It's not based off, like, another story that's
Yeah, I know,
almost
but all
exactly
those,
the same.
but the people that they're based off of are literally proven fakes.
I don't know. I didn't see the first one. I heard it's one of the scariest horror movies of this new horror genre.
It's not. It's awful. I mean, that's just my opinion. It's awful, but also like B, the people that it's supposedly based on a true story are confirmed fakes. I don't know. I just kind of I'm just not a fan of the way horror is going in general, to be honest with you. Because I really liked horror movies when it was all about the atmosphere.
Yeah, like Alien and
Alien
Well, I
is one
guess
of my
Predator's-
favorite movies
Predator's
of all time.
more like an action movie than a horror movie.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Aliens is supposed to be an action movie, but
Aliens is an action movie. That's the genre it's listed as.
No, I know, but like Alien, yeah,
Which
like,
is weird.
excellent
It's not really.
I mean, I would say it is. It's a nom allegory, but you know, I mean, was great. Had great atmosphere. You know, the villain was scary. Even Friday the 13th was another one that did pretty well. Sure, there were long stretches of time where nothing happened, but I actually really liked that because you were just waiting for
the suspense was built.
Yeah, you were just like, oh, is this chick making coffee gonna die? And then she didn't die, and you're just like, oh, well, I guess she didn't die, but still, like, what a suspense build. I don't know, man.
Like in Dead Space, when you're walking around and you can only walk really slow at some parts.
No.
And you're just like, all right, when's the next creature gonna come out?
Mm-hmm.
And then nothing comes out, and you're like, oh my god, when's it gonna happen?
Personally, I think Dead Space 2 is scarier than Dead Space 1 because Dead Space 2, first off, the aliens have more variety, the xenomorphs have more variety, and your weapons have more variety. And second off, Isaac actually has a personality, so you feel more invested in it. Because in number one, he doesn't talk, which is fine, but in number 2, he speaks, and what's really nice is the way he's written. He really does feel like an everyman. He feels like an everyman who's just stuck in a really bad situation, which he is. You know, he's an engineer. So yeah, I enjoyed that part of Dead Space 2. I liked it better than I enjoyed Dead Space 1. Dead Space 3 isn't a horror game. It's a game where you can construct your own guns, so it becomes very much, oh my god, I constructed like this gun where I shot wooden stakes coated with acid, and then I could also shoot electric bombs. So like at that point it's not scary anymore. It's just like
That's just
awesome
crazy.
going around just murdering everything in sight. But it did have, it was a lot of fun, and it did have one of the best weapon construction systems I've ever seen in a video game. So there is that. But, yeah, long story short, I really like modern horror when I hate modern horror. I prefer horror when it's focused on atmosphere.
Yeah, well, don't forget that James Wan also did Furious 7, I believe.
Well, I mean, that doesn't make me like him anymore.
I mean, that's a very well-shot movie.
I mean, it's a well-shot movie, it's a well-directed movie, but it's not a good movie. There's a huge difference.
It doesn't have to be a good movie to be a well-directed movie.
No, I agree, but, I mean, a good...
Like, that's what they look at, you know?
No, I understand.
Like, Batman v Superman is not a well-directed movie.
No, it's... I mean, I don't know. I think Zack Snyder's a pretty solid director. I think he's hokey at times.
But Man of Steel is a very well-directed movie.
I mean...
While I don't like it that much, I cannot lie and say it's a badly directed movie. Man of Steel just... The story did not make any... Batman v Superman, the story did not make any sense, which is what was its downfall.
Yeah, no, the story... But you see, what's just funny is, like, Deadpool showed that you didn't have to have the best story. Because Deadpool's story is not awesome.
But Deadpool
But the
also
rest of the movie makes up
doesn't need
for
a
it.
story.
It's...
Deadpool could It could have just been Deadpool running around, killing people, like just random people, shouting out lines, and people still would have loved it.
Yeah, but by the same token, Deadpool is best when he has a good story. For example, like, my 2 all-time favorite Deadpool stories are from the Marvel Now run. I forget who writes it. The first
I think it's
arc,
Mark Waid.
the new one, not the most recent one, the Volume 3. Anyway,
You're not talking about All New, All Different, right? You're talking about the reboot that was before that.
Yeah, I'm talking about Marvel Now.
Yeah, I think that's Mark Waid.
Okay. Look, it was awesome because the very first arc was him fighting evil zombie presidents. That was
Oh my
awesome.
god, that's amazing.
And then the third arc was really intense, and it showed a lot of his emotional side. You know, he starts sobbing, like he realizes he has a kid. Like, it's really incredible, and those are my 2 favorite arcs because those are the 2 different sides of Deadpool. But the point is that Deadpool is best when he has an excellent story to bounce one-liners off of. Anyway, we were talking about horror movies and badly directed films or whatever.
Yeah, because we talked about James Wan.
James Wan. Moving on. I don't want to start anything.
Okay. The next piece of news is, Anthony, I know how you love the young adult novel series I know how you love the movies so much. You love how well adapted they are. Especially The Maze Runner. Well, the third movie, The Maze Runner, The Death Cure, has shut down production because the star of the movie, Dylan O'Brien, got injured doing a stunt on set. He jumped off a car or something, and he got hit into by another car because the cable didn't pull him the right way.
So, somebody got fired.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it makes sense that they have to shut down production, but
Well, I mean, I feel bad for him, but I don't know. I mean,
I'm still not going to see the movie.
well, I mean, look, here's the whole thing. Young Adult was really good, and I really enjoyed it for a very large portion of my life. But
When you were a young adult.
I was a young adult, and then I outgrew it. And the other thing is, The Maze Runner. Well, I've never read the books, so I can't say anything about.
The first movie is terrible,
the
though.
quality of the books. But the movie, I didn't even see the movie. I just saw the Everything Wrong with CinemaSins video, and it looked like super generic. And then it got to the Scorch Trials, and then it got to zombies, and I'm like, oh.
There were zombies in it. You see, this is how little I know about these movies. All I know is that in the first one, they made it through the maze or something, and then they were like, what's this? And then in the second one, they were running from the government, and the government was like, don't do it! And he slid under a door and got away, and he did it, and then they found people, and those people got killed, and something else happened. And then I have no idea what the third one's about.
Watch the Everything Wrong with videos. They're pretty funny, but I mean, they just
I
seem
will.
very generic and very much too obsessed with keeping you in the dark that when you finally get like reveals to these mysteries, it's stupid. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like one of those things that tries too hard to be super cool and mysterious. Like I'm trying to think, what's another one that tries way too hard to be super cool and mysterious?
The Percy Jackson movies, the two that they've had.
I didn't see either of them, and I'm not even going to comment on them.
I saw the first one, and you remember how he gets the flying shoes in the book, and they're supposed to drag him to Tartarus?
Yeah.
I think at the end, in the last fight, he uses them to fly, or something.
I'm gonna punch someone in their face hole. Okay.
And the last fight is against Luke, the guy who gave it to him, who was like his mentor.
Mm-hmm. Dude,
And he just,
I
like-
know who Luke was.
I know. In case the listeners don't. You forgot, we're not just having a conversation here. We're recording a podcast.
I thought that was literally the whole point of these podcasts, was we're having conversations.
But he basically just takes all of the water out of a water tower and flings it at Luke.
Oh, yeah,
and
that-
that's how the fight ends.
That whole trailer moment, yeah.
Yeah. And it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
And then he meets his dad, and his dad doesn't even look that good as Poseidon.
Ew. But, I don't know. Okay, something that doles out, something that, let's try the opposite. Something that instead of trying too hard to be dark and mysterious, that it just, like, bullcraps everything.
Or like it tries too hard to be light and campy.
Mm-hmm.
Arrow season 4.
What?
Arrow season 4.
Okay, I don't know.
Tries
I
way
can't talk
too
about
hard to
that.
be light.
I'm going to talk about Akira, arguably one of the greatest,
Okay.
one of the greatest manga of all time. Okay,
Go for it.
phenomenal. What happens in that is that we, as the readers, are in the dark because the characters, the main characters that we follow, are in the dark. And while that's true for the Maze Runner, nobody ever gives the people in the Maze Runner a straight answer. Okay? It's always like, oh, this is... It's like, what's happening here? Oh, just wait and see. It's like, no, let's not just wait and see.
How about you tell me what's happening?
Exactly. Akira did it really well because there was a greater mystery, but we learned bits and pieces of it, and we were able to put the big picture together ourselves. Maze Runner is
Okay.
also very indicative. The Maze Runner series is also very indicative of what's wrong with modern series filmmaking today. Is that people build movies to sequel it instead of building
Yeah.
a movie to be a movie, which is a very big problem. Look no further. Like we're getting teased in Maze Runner, for example, that the third movie will reveal everything when we've learned absolutely nothing in the first two movies.
Yeah.
And it's like, I don't care anymore. Let's look at Batman vs. Superman, which for all intents and purposes should have been a pretty self-contained movie. It tried to set up Justice League, and it bloated
That was the goal of it.
and it bloated its runtime instead of... What I think was really different about in the Marvel movies, and yeah, I'm a Marvel fanboy, so I'm a little biased, but what was good is that they very much tried to be good movies that set something else up. You know what I mean? Like,
Except for Age of Ultron, where it just felt like a big setup.
yeah, no, Age of Ultron was bad for a number of reasons. So was Iron Man 2, but for the most part, they're pretty self-contained movies. For the most part. Another movie, I don't know, like the original Star Wars was not really set up to have a sequel. You know what I mean?
But you could see where a sequel could come from with the ending at the
yeah, because they
start.
left Darth Vader alive, you know, all that jazz. It was building to be self-contained as opposed to setting up a sequel, which is very much a problem with modern filmmaking today. Because we kind of brought that upon ourselves because we keep demanding more and more and more, and bigger budgets. So movies
Because when the movies are good, we just want to see more of the characters.
exactly, and even more than that, movies cost so much these days that studios, like, one flop will put them out of business. It used to be like you could make a couple big budget action movies, then like a couple like movies that would just like barely make back their budget or whatever. Now everything has to be big budget and huge, and if they tank,
Or really, really small.
yeah, man,
But I like it how Deadpool kind of like fell right in the middle there, where they were given about like a $50 million budget,
yeah,
and they just blew it out of the water.
mm-hmm,
So now they're giving them more, but they're like, no, we don't want more money for the next one. We
Right.
want to stay low budget,
Exactly.
as low as we can.
one thing that I always remember is about the Lord of the Rings films. Viggo Mortensen, I think is how I pronounce his last name, the guy who played Aragorn, said that they became less and less. They lost more and more integrity as the films went on because they got bigger and bigger budgeted.
Didn't they film them all back to back to back though?
I don't believe so. I mean, if you want another example of this, look at The Matrix.
Yeah. Well, The Matrix is also just they had a good concept, and then there was no need for a sequel, and they wanted a sequel because it made so much money.
Yeah.
Like the studio specifically.
Yeah, and then the second and third ones were filmed back to back, which were just awful.
Which is why they had to release the third one.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, they would not have.
Even
And
though
it's
this-
like it's the same way with this HBO show called Vinyl.
Mm.
They paid all of the actors for 2 seasons, so they have to have a second season. Even though the show is absolutely terrible and gets terrible ratings and reviews.
Really?
Okay, let's move on to the next piece of news now.
Okay.
So it's being rumored that Ben Affleck and Jeff Johns are going to be incorporating a lot of, if not all of the members of Batman's Rogue Gallery into the Batman movie in some form or another.
I really hope that they don't take it too far and they just make it like perusing the Batcave and we see all Batman's souvenirs. Because Batman does have one of the best rogues gallery in comics, but one of the things that Amazing Spider-Man 2 really suffered from was trying too hard to put everything in it. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And I really hope they don't go that route with Batman.
The only way I could see it being good is if they do, I think it's Hush, where they have like all the characters in there in some sort of way.
I mean, but yeah, Hush was good because it was able to play out in its own time. Hush would be good as an animated movie, but then again, if you made it as an animated movie, you would probably have to cut out something in order to make it.
It would be better as a series.
Yeah, Hush was really good because it was a series. It was paced really well. Because keep in mind, Hush was published over the course of a year. Hush was 12 issues. So it was able to pace itself.
How many issues is The Dark Knight Returns?
1 sec, let me check. I think it's only 5 or 6. It's surprisingly short.
Yeah. I know it's short, I just don't know how short it is.
It's like only 5 or 6 issues, honestly.
Okay.
But I don't know. Dark Knight Returns is good, but super overrated.
No, I meant for length comparison. Because
Oh.
they basically did that for Batman v Superman.
Yeah, I mean,
Like, that was the starting point for Batman.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking, like, if they can barely get that into a movie, how are they going to fit all these villains in if they do it off the Hush storyline?
I don't know, because the problem is the Hush storyline has a lot to it. Oh, the Hush storyline, basically what happens is somebody, because we're going to the podcast, somebody starts hiring all of Batman's villains and stuff to,
Yeah.
commit robberies and, set up a web of it. That's actually another good example of stuff that slowly gives us payoff building to the big payoff. But basically, pretty much every big member of Batman's Rogues Gallery, from the Riddler to the Joker to like Clayface and everybody, is involved in like this huge, massive plan against Bruce Wayne. Not Batman, Bruce Wayne.
Oh, snap.
Yeah. It's one of the best Batman stories. It's one of my personal favorites.
Yeah, you tell me to read it all the time.
It's fantastic.
And I just still have not.
I mean, that's your own fault. But people have been demanding a movie adaptation for years, and I'm kind of hoping that DC does an animated one, because even though DC isn't really good at the live action stuff, their animated films are astoundingly good. Mm-hmm. So give me if we're getting Killing Joke, give me Hush, alright?
Yeah, their series are not as good, like their animated TV series.
I mean,
anymore.
They used to be top notch.
Oh, yeah. They're just pandering to all the little kid viewers now.
I don't want to talk about Teen Titans Go.
Oh, no. I'm talking about Justice League Action, or whatever it's called, where it's basically Teen Titans Go, except it takes the Justice League or Justice League Unlimited show and does it to that.
That helps me.
I know it does.
That hurts
okay.
me.
I think that they could do it if they have Batman going into Arkham Asylum, and you just kind of see like a lot of the villains in there.
Yeah, it would be. I just want Easter eggs. I don't want every character making an appearance unless it's like cameos, like as in walking through Asylum, we just see everybody in the board like, "Hey, I'm coming for you back, Batman." Like that'd be cool. But there's too many good Batman villains to shove them all in there. Mm-hmm. All right, and the other thing is a lot of them are super contradictory to each other. Like you're not gonna have Clayface. I don't really think you can really put Clayface in the same movie as Penguin. Unless it is something like, I don't know, Hush. But like, because they're two distinctly different people. And if you want to involve them to the fullest extent, it's going to probably be two different stories. Because, you know, Penguin is a gangster. I mean, yeah, he could hire Clayface. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of possibilities, but it would just, I don't know, tonally it would feel kind of weird. To me, at least. It's entirely possible that I'm proven wrong. But Batman's entire Rogues Gallery, while mostly based in fact and reality... Okay, you know what I mean, in so much as, like, they're just a bunch of guys...
In the reality of the comic books.
Yeah, they're just a bunch of guys with, like, fetishes and kinks, as opposed to, like, Superman, who's like, I am Metalo, I am made of metal and my heart is kryptonite, and you're just like, alright, honcho.
Yup.
So, I don't know, it would be interesting to see how that works out. But, I don't know, I don't know if I can say I have faith in them.
I do not think I do. At this point, I don't have faith in DC's movies. At this point, currently. But if Suicide Squad comes out and that's amazing, then we will know.
Well, I have my fingers crossed for Suicide Squad, at least.
Yep. Okay, next piece of news. So, Mark Platt, who is a very big, not like big producer, but he's produced a lot of films, announced that he partnered with Sega to make a film adaptation of their game Shinobi.
Really? Shinobi? First they're doing Sonic, and now Shinobi?
Mm-hmm.
That's an interesting choice from Sega's library of games.
I think it could be good based on the other things that he's produced, like Bridge of Spies, Legally Blonde, Drive, Scott Pilgrim vs. the World, Wanted.
All right, that's a pretty solid smattering.
And that's just a few of like the many that he's produced.
I don't know. It'll be interesting though. I would kind of want to see their justification for choosing Shinobi, which is just like, I can almost guarantee like half of the people who listen to this, all one of the half of the people who listen to this, haven't heard of this movie. It's basically incredibly difficult. If I remember correctly, let me Google this real quick. Shinobi. It's basically about a ninja just going around killing people. Yeah, I think it was. Yeah.
Sounds pretty much like a ninja movie game.
Yeah. Joe Musashi.
Doesn't Shinobi translate to ninja in English?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it makes sense.
It was in the 80s that this series was produced.
Oh my god. That is a long time.
Holy crap.
Late 80s or mid 80s?
Late 80s.
Okay.
Wait a minute. The most recent game came out in 2011 on the Nintendo 3DS. I think it was a re-release of the original. It's called Shinobi 3D.
Probably a re-release of the original.
Yeah, but there's 12 games. I guess the series is way more popular than I thought. It's 12 games in the series. All right. There's about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's about 6 paragraphs in the plot section of the Wikipedia article, so I don't know, man.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, next piece of news. So the Russos, in an interview this past week, said that they are planning to change the title of Avengers Infinity War Part 1 and Part 2 at some point. They confirmed it in the interview by saying, the intention is to change it, we just haven't come up with the titles yet. So hopefully we get actual good titles for the movies.
I mean,
Like maybe the first one is Avengers Infinity, and then the next one is Infinity War, or Infinity Gauntlet and Infinity War.
I mean, Infinity War Part 1 and 2 just have kind of always felt like placeholders to me. Just in general.
Do you think they'll do the same thing with Justice League Part 1 and 2? Like they'll change the titles?
I mean, do you have that much faith in them?
Not really, but since this came out, they may sneakily do it. Like just have the first one be Justice League. And then the second one, I don't even know like what titles you could put for Justice League.
Dawn of Justice.
Dawn of Justice League.
I don't know.
Oh, what a great title.
It could-
That's just
It could
absolutely
go
terrible.
either way. I don't think anything would surprise me. I just think DC is just trying too hard overall.
Well, they're trying to catch up. They expected Batman v Superman, their second movie in their universe, to hit $1 billion. I mean, it took them 3 years to make it,
Damn.
and it's terrible.
I don't know
So-
about terrible. I enjoyed it. I would say mediocre.
I enjoyed it, but it's still a terrible film.
I mean,
Like I enjoyed Let's Be Cops. That's a terrible movie.
why would you enjoy Let's Be Cops? It's a comedy, and I didn't laugh once while watching it.
I like stupid comedies.
That's not even a stupid comedy. It's just,
It is a stupid comedy because it's stupid, and it's a comedy.
it's bad. There's a big difference there, pal.
I also enjoy a lot of Kevin Hart movies.
I mean, Kevin Hart is at least entertaining himself. Speaking of which, I
Yeah.
am looking forward to Central Intelligence.
Oh yeah, I think that's gonna surprise a ton of people and be up there on the top 10 for the summer.
I mean, I don't know about top 10.
No, box office wise, I mean.
Oh. Maybe. I don't know. Looks entertaining at least. I mean, Kevin Hart and Dwayne The Rock Johnson should be fairly entertaining.
Yeah, Kevin Hart looks as though he's gonna be the straight man in this one, which will be a nice change of pace.
Oh yeah, because I mean, I don't know. I feel like that's one of those things where it could go either way with both of them being the straight man.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it definitely looks like they're gearing him up to be the straight man, which again, nice change of pace. So I agree with that.
Okay, you ready for this next piece of news?
I mean, I guess.
So, Kevin Feige was in an interview with Deadline. It is a very long interview. I can send it to you if you want, but the really big thing that I took from it is that he basically committed Marvel Studios to making a Black Widow movie. This is what he said. He said, of the characters that you've just mentioned, I would say certainly the one creatively and emotionally that we are most committed to doing is Black Widow. Although the only two that were mentioned were Hawkeye and Black Widow. Since they're really the only two that have not gotten a solo movie, that have been in multiple movies at this point. Besides Scarlet Witch and Vision.
I mean,
Like, they haven't really had a setup. They're just there.
yeah. I mean, look.
Where everybody else is kind of set up throughout other movies.
I don't know. I'm probably gonna get a lot of hate for saying this, but I don't really care. I mean, look. I feel like Black Widow is a great supporting character, but I don't know if a movie about her could support itself, honestly.
No, I don't think it could. I mean, you look at what Lucy did, and that's why I think they're more committed to that. Because Lucy is one of the first really big budget female-led action movies.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm not gonna support it just because of that. You know, it has to be good. I don't know. I mean, I would love to be pleasantly surprised, but like, I feel like she's one of those characters that just works excellently with other people. It's like Max in Mad Max, right?
Or the Hulk in the Avengers.
Yeah, like he's a cool character, but like he works better in conjunction with other people. Because like in Mad Max, he just kind of grunts and like goes along, and the whole point of him as a character is that he hates that he's a good person.
Yeah.
He hates that he can't turn away from people in need, even though he does it. But like when someone really needs it, like Furiosa, he's just like, "Fuck, I have to help people." Like he hates that fact about himself. But that only works in regards to other people. Like a Black Widow movie, like, all right, you know, I'm sure she's had. I've never read them, but I'm sure she's had some pretty solid standalone series in the comics.
I think she has one right now.
She does
that actually good.
That I hear is pretty good, but I haven't read it. But I mean, like, I don't know. The thing is, I feel like she's one of those characters that's just a great supporting character, and like should be used as a supporting character whenever you get the chance. But like, it's like Joey from Friends, just better with other people.
Yeah,
because we all know what happened when they tried to make a Joey spin-off series.
Yeah, it just crashed instantly.
I mean, I think it got like 20 episodes, and they all.
Oh no, I meant critic-wise.
Oh yeah, no, everyone was like, "What is this?"
Yeah, and then they did that with some other '90s show as well. They had a spin-off show about it. There are a lot.
I mean, Frasier was a spin-off from Cheers.
Yeah, that's the one I'm thinking of. But that's more of like an 80s to 90s show, I think. Right? Cheers?
I mean, I don't know. When did Cheers come out?
Yeah.
Google that. I'm busy looking at fan art. Google that.
Okay, I will as I read you this next piece of news. Jeremy Irons confirmed that he will return as Alfred in Justice League Part 1, which isn't really surprising.
I mean, I expected that.
It's just nice to hear that he is actually confirmed for it.
I mean, I expected that. So
yeah, but you also could have, like, it also could have been without him.
I mean,
like, I could have seen how they did it.
I mean, it's Jeremy Irons. The dude's like a prodigal actor. I don't know how to pronounce that word. Prodigal? Prodigal? Fantastic actor that has a lot of fabled history behind him. So, like, I don't know. I think they would be stupid to not have that added star power, even if he's only just Alfred, because Alfred is pretty badass. And I mean, so yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'm glad he's confirmed, but I kind of just assumed he was already.
Yeah. Okay. So Cheers came out in the 80s. I don't know what year, but it gives me the last episode, which is season 11, episode 28, and it came out on May 20th, 1993, along with episode 26 and episode 27.
Neato.
Okay, next piece of news. Okay. Robert Downey Jr. wants to do an Iron Man 4, and Jon Favreau is interested in returning to Marvel as more than an executive producer.
Yeah, I heard that.
Could this be a possible re-team up?
I hope not.
I'd like to see it.
I mean, Iron Man 1 was pretty damn good. Iron Man 2 was bullshit.
Iron Man 2 was also like, okay, here's your script, go make the movie now, and you have to do it as quickly as possible, because we need to get it out.
I mean, yeah, okay, that's fair.
That's the only reason it was really that bad.
Iron Man 3, I thought filled
Iron Man 3, I love.
Yeah, I thought it filled out, I thought it finished Tony Stark's character arc pretty nicely, you know? He's accepted his place in the world. I just don't think there needs to be an Iron Man 4. And I mean, I'm biased because I don't like Iron Man as a character, but like...
I love Iron Man as a character,
I just find him too much of a dick.
I could not be on his team in Civil War. We'll get to that later, though.
Okay. I mean, I just don't think we need another one. I feel like his character arc is done. At least the one they've set up in the movies.
Yeah. Okay, next piece. Bryan Singer addressed fans' criticisms of Apocalypse's look by saying that people complained about Hugh Jackman as Wolverine and Quicksilver's costume, but then ended up loving it. So he thinks that fans will instantly change their mind as soon as they see the film, which I agree with, because pretty much every decision he's made has been great for the X-Men franchise.
I hadn't really had a problem with his costume, so I mean, I'm glad that he settled that up, I guess. I don't know, I think that's kind of...
I think he was more talking about like people's reactions to the photos from last year.
Oh, I think that's kind of a weak defense, but I mean, alright, whatever floats your boat there, Mr. Singer.
I think it's quite a strong defense, because every decision that he's made that has kind of been different from the comics, people have loved it. And nothing he's really done has made people hate it.
Fair enough. Well, whatever. Whatever. I'm excited to see the movie regardless.
Yeah. And apparently, reviews are coming out tomorrow. Well, today.
I mean, you know how much I try and go into a movie blank.
No, I mean like the first reviews, like the embargo was lifted today for reviews.
Cool. You still know how I feel about going into a movie blank, which is I try to do it all the time.
Oh yeah, I know. I just think it's a good sign for the movie coming out like almost a month ahead of time with the embargo being lifted, kind of like Civil War did.
All right.
Okay, have you seen The Office, Anthony?
No.
Do you know who John Krasinski is?
Yes.
He's going to star in a Jack Ryan TV show on Amazon. This isn't like movie news, but I like John Krasinski, and I think he can definitely pull off the action role.
Well, you would know better than I would. I don't really have anything to say on that because I didn't like The Office, and I don't know.
And you didn't see 13 Hours.
No, I don't really watch movies. But
Okay.
that was a lot of dead air. But I don't know. I just John Krasinski. I mean, I don't know enough about his acting prowess to really feel that way one way or another. And you said he was going to star in a 24 series.
No, a Jack Ryan TV show.
Oh well,
Jack Ryan.
Yeah, no,
is,
Jack Ryan
yeah.
is the character that what's his face came up with.
Tom Clancy.
Yeah, Tom Clancy came up with. It's his main protagonist. So I don't know. I mean, it's about time Tom Clancy got his own TV show because I mean, like he's one of the most prolific writers, like ever, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of surprised it took this long. But I mean, all right, if you think he can pull it off, all right.
Well, there have been 4 Jack Ryan movies now.
Yeah. 4 of them.
One with Alec Baldwin, Ben Affleck, and oh no, wait, actually 5. Because Harrison Ford was also Jack Ryan.
What was really funny though, actually, one of my favorite. The one with Ben Affleck. Okay, so one of the things Tom Clancy's notorious for is all of his books are super realistic. You know, everything in them described down to the detail, hyper-realism, right? Mm-hmm. And the movie took some liberties with stuff like that. And in the director's commentary, Tom Clancy is in there, and he just starts ripping the movie to shreds over all these inaccuracies.
Wow.
It is hilarious. If you guys have, like, a little time to spare, watch. Well, I don't remember what the Ben Affleck Jack Ryan film was called. But, like...
I think it's not Clear and Present Danger. But I know it's on Netflix.
Yeah, watch it, but, like, put on the director's commentary. It is so freaking funny, because, like, you just see the director there, and the director's like, well, we had to make the change for the movie. And Tom Clancy's like, no, that's stupid. Like, I don't know why you did that. Like, it was all right there in the book. You're an idiot. Dude, what are you doing? And it's just like, wow, bro, you need to... I mean...
Calm down a little bit.
All right. Like, I can appreciate your passion for your own book.
But movies have to do things differently.
I mean, I don't know about...
Like, it's basically a requirement.
I don't know about that. It was pretty interesting. It was really funny, though.
Yeah, but apparently... Have you seen any of the Jack Ryan movies?
I saw the Ben Affleck one with the director's
Freeman.
commentary because I heard it was hilarious, and I was not disappointed. And I saw the Hunt for Red October.
Okay. And then the other ones are Clear and Present Danger, and then Shadow Recruit is the one with Chris Pine.
Yeah.
I think. Yeah, I saw that. That one's pretty good.
I mean, okay, good for you.
I was just letting you know so you could watch it.
Well, I don't care
so
about
now how
your
you take
opinion.
all my recommendations and just throw them in the trash anyway.
I mean, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Not all of them, but mostly.
All right, let's fly through the rest of this news because we're at almost 40 minutes.
Oh, okay.
Spider-Man Homecoming is going to take place after Civil War,
I mean,
which was pretty much known, but Kevin Feige just confirmed it.
Okay. I thought
So
it was
there's
Kevin
not-
Feige. Whatever.
No, it's Feige.
Okay.
He's not going... They're not going to rehash the origin story at all.
I mean, that was a big reason for them making another Spider-Man movie. They cleared that off right out of the gate.
Yeah, he was just, again, confirming it.
Okay.
The first image of the Power Rangers was released. Have you seen it?
I did.
They basically look like Iron
They
Man.
do, and it's Oof.
Well, apparently the actual description of their costume is translucent extraterrestrial armor that crystallizes around their bodies. You like those high heels and push-up bras the girls have?
Oh, I don't. Okay.
It's so bad. It looks so bad. As a fan of the original
I
series,
mean, the original.
looks so
Okay,
bad.
first off, the original series is not that amazing, but these new costumes look just really stupid.
I meant for like looks on the Power Rangers,
yeah.
like they look so dumb.
Yeah, no, they look too Iron Man-y.
Yep.
They really do.
I mean, they have like the glowing part right in the middle of the chest too.
Yeah, I'm like, okay, this is dumb.
Yeah. Anthony, did you know that Tom Cruise is going to star in a Mummy movie?
I did.
The Mummy movie,
I did.
the reboot. Russell Crowe has been cast as a Jekyll-like character to play opposite Tom Cruise, with a possible spin-off movie coming.
I don't
know what that means, but that was the report. I think it'll be cool.
Okay.
The Mummy movie, I mean, not the Jekyll and Hyde movie.
I mean, okay. All right.
Yep. All right. So, a New Mutants movie has been officially announced by Fox. It's going to be written and directed by Josh Boone, and the title is X-Men: The New Mutants. The lineup is going to include Magic, Wolfsbane, Mirage, Cannonball, Sunspot, and Warlock. I think we talked about this last week, but it was officially confirmed this past week.
Honestly, I don't really care about the X-Men in general.
Okay. Do you know who Wolfsbane is? Because that's the only one I don't know.
I do. Basically just transforms into... Imagine a werewolf that can transform at will, basically.
Got it. Okay. The Russo brothers may have pretty much confirmed Captain Marvel for Infinity War Part 1 by mentioning her name at a fan screening Q&A. They were asked if it was confirmed when they said the name, and they said half-jokingly, Captain Marvel, totally different character.
Well, all right.
Okay, and then Fox has acquired the rights to the Boom comic book series Irredeemable, and it's being set up to be a directing vehicle for Adam McKay. Have you read this comic book?
Nope.
Have you heard of this comic book?
Yep.
Does it sound good?
I mean, I've heard very little about it. I mean, look, if Fox acquired the rights, then I assume it's going to be pretty solid because while I don't really like what they do to the comic series, they always have some pretty good properties.
Yeah, except Fantastic Four.
I mean, Fantastic Four is a great property. They just were awful with it.
Well, if you go back and you watch the two from the early 2000s, they are way better. Like, an amazing amount better than the one from 2015.
I mean, I didn't watch the 2015.
I did. I didn't pay for it, but I watched it. Don't do that, kids. Pay for all the movies you watch. Do it. No, just kidding. Okay. Anthony, that's all the news. So now we're on to talking about Civil War for the next 15 to 20 minutes.
Okay.
Let's go non-spoilers first, and then spoilers.
It was awesome.
Unless you want to do spoilers first and just ruin it for everybody.
I mean, spoilers. Let's just talk about spoilers.
Okay. So, first off, what would you give this rating what would you give the rating for the movie out of 10?
9.5.
Agreed. That's what I said. I enjoyed pretty much every single scene in the movie, which I did not expect to do.
Well, I mean, the whole thing is like every single character had a place in there, which was nice.
Yeah.
Even Crossbones, which okay.
I did not expect him to rip off Crossbones' mask.
I mean, that was pretty cool. I knew they were gonna do that. You knew they were
gonna rip off the mask?
I knew that they were gonna at least have him maskless at some point, because otherwise, why cast the same actor?
Voice? I don't know.
Like,
I mean, why cast the same actor who plays Jarvis as the Vision?
They totally didn't have to do that.
True. I miss Jarvis.
I don't know. I mean, it's funny though, because when you read comics, you notice really heavily when they adapt the comics to fit the movies for people who see a movie and then come to or pick up a comic. So I don't know.
And it's just completely different.
Yeah, because like Friday is in the new comic, and I'm like, well, while Jarvis was never an AI in the comic, he was always the butler. Like there was absolutely zero mention of him whatsoever. So I'm like, all right.
Yeah. But it's mentioned in the Agent Carter series that he was a butler.
All right, well that's good at least.
Yeah, kind of tying it together.
Mm-hmm.
So when I watched this movie, I was watching it and was like, okay, I need to remember this and this and this and this and this and this for us to talk about it.
You've totally forgotten
But
them, haven't you?
I've forgotten a lot of them.
Adam, baby.
But it was a lot of stuff in like the beginning action scene, and then when they go to meet with General Ross to sign the accords, and when they go to Geneva or Vienna, wherever they go.
Mm-hmm.
I forget where it is. It's a lot of that stuff, and then pretty much after that, it's like it's all streamlined right in my brain.
All right.
Because a lot of the movie feels like it's taken up by the airport fight scene.
I mean, that was amazing. That was probably one of the best.
It was great.
That was
definitely the best action scene I've seen in a comic book movie.
oof.
Ever.
I mean, I really liked the description of it when they were describing it. They said that they really, really wanted to make it like one of those 2-page spreads that you see when you're first reading a comic book and you're like, oh crap, things about to go down, and it really felt like that.
Oh yeah, and I think a few of the coolest parts, like my top favorite parts, were Ant-Man flying on the arrow,
Mm-hmm.
Giant Man,
Mm-hmm.
Spider-Man, just everything about
Pretty much.
about Spider-Man. I mean, I think the funniest part was him saying, "Hey guys, you remember Empire Strikes Back?"
Yeah.
What they did?
Hey guys,
And
you know this
then-
old film called Empire Strikes Back? Tony, where'd you dig this guy up, man? How old is he?
Don't worry about it. He's on the young side though. But then I also liked when he webbed Falcon down. He was like, "So what are those wings made of?"
Yeah.
Because they curve like no other metal I've ever seen.
Like carbon fiber? Or...
Yeah, like what are they?
Hmm.
And I thought that was just hilarious.
Yeah, it was all phenomenal.
What did you think about what they did to Rhodey?
I mean, I kind of wanted a character to die, but this was the next best thing, so I thought it was interesting.
Yeah, I don't think they should have made him paralyzed
I
specifically
mean, he wasn't. He's walking now again, which is nice.
with the help of those things.
Yeah.
He's basically paralyzed, though. That's what they said when they took him to the hospital.
Yeah, that's true.
I think. I wish it would have been somebody else, like maybe Cap,
I mean,
or Iron
that was
Man.
not going to happen.
But not at that point. Like,
I don't know.
obviously, not at the end of that
I
fight.
don't know. I freaking loved the movie regardless.
Mhm.
It was just phenomenal.
I think it's definitely above Avengers for me
I mean, yeah, that was.
in terms of enjoyment.
It's probably my new favorite Marvel. It's my new favorite Marvel movie, honestly.
Yeah, but I feel like I say that after every single Marvel movie.
I didn't say that after Age of Ultron, let me tell you, and I certainly didn't say, and I didn't say it after Ant-Man. Because Winter Soldier was my favorite before it.
You didn't say it after Guardians.
I mean, I loved Guardians, but it was on this. That was my second favorite, and it was tied with Ant-Man. Winter Soldier was my favorite before this.
Yeah, I think before this, Guardians or Winter Soldier were my favorites. I don't know which one is above because I haven't watched them in such a long time.
Mm-hmm.
But I think this one will have more of a rewatchability factor for me than Avengers.
Why?
Because the beginning of Avengers just feels so slow.
It is so slow. It really is, honestly. This moved a lot faster. It was really, really well paced.
Oh, yeah. Did you like the little cameo by one of the Russo brothers?
Wait, I don't know what they look like. Where was that?
He was the guy that was murdered in the bathtub.
Oh, really?
With the mustache? Yeah. I forget which one it is. Like, I forget which one is named what, though. I think it's Joe? Maybe?
That's pretty good. I can appreciate that a lot. He's like, guys, yo, I'm dead.
Oh, yeah. It was great. I was like, what? Is that him? Like, I couldn't tell because it showed it really quickly. and there were people like walking because it was right towards the end of the movie.
Mm.
But what do you think about the Stan Lee cameo?
Tony stank.
Oh, I'm keeping that one.
I still think that
Table for two, Mr. Stank.
the best one was still Deadpool. But that was pretty solid.
What was his cameo in Deadpool
He
again?
was the announcer in the strip club.
Was he?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he was the announcer in the strip club. That was.
I don't remember
I
that.
lost my crap.
I don't know why.
Oh my gosh, dude, that was phenomenal. I lost my crap when that happened. He was the announcer at the strip club,
Deadpool
and I was
also
like,
did come out like 3 months ago, though.
yeah, but are you seriously saying you don't?
I watch a lot of movies.
Clearly,
I mean, I remember a lot about Deadpool. I just don't remember that specific part.
it was the best. It was the best.
How'd you like the end battle?
I thought it was really dramatic and intense and everything it should have been.
I thought it was a little bit childish.
Why?
The reason for the battle.
What? You mean the fact that Bucky killed Tony's parents?
The fact that Tony should have known he was being egged on by.
I mean, at that point, I don't think he gave a damn.
because he just saw his parents.
Yeah, like,
Agree, but I still think the reasoning behind it is like you can't put aside your differences and realize that he wasn't in control at this point. Like, it's been shown throughout the movie that he wasn't in control, and that's one of the realizations he comes to when he meets them there.
I mean,
You know what I mean?
I still think he was just. I mean, if you saw the murder of your parents, I don't really think you can logically counter that. Besides, Tony also suffers from PTSD.
Oh yeah, that's right. I forgot about
So
that.
he was never in the most stable place to begin with.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah. Hold up. Wait a minute. Who is it? Hold on.
What? What's going on?
Are you kidding me?
What?
Son of a
What happened?
businessman.
What happened?
Okay. So this is more comic related news. So Spider-Man is getting an event called Dead No More.
Oh god.
And it was teased for a while, you know, who would be coming back, and everybody kind of thought it would be Doc Ock because he technically died.
Yeah,
Um,
after Superior Spider-Man.
It's not. It's been revealed who it is, and it's
Who is
really
it?
stupid.
Who is it? Tell me who it is.
Are you ready for this?
Yes, I'm ready for how stupid this is going
It's
to be.
Gwen Stacy. Yeah, and you know what's even dumber is that in the comics, there's technically a Gwen Stacy clone running around.
In the 616 universe?
Yeah. So what No, wait, no, not in the comic book universe. That's 616, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I thought it was in the Ultimate Universe, because I know there's definitely a clone running around in there.
no. So you see, what happened was after Gwen Stacy dies, it turned out that the Jackal was doing cloning experiments because he had a real thing for Gwen Stacy because he was creepy as hell, and he cloned her and set her free. And the whole reason that they did that was because Stan Lee's like, no, I don't mind if you kill her. I like that, but some of the readers might be pissed, so figure something out. And they're just like,
Actually, Stan Lee did not want to kill her.
really?
Yeah, he didn't write that issue.
I know he did.
It was written by somebody else, and he came back and was like, Gwen Stacy's dead? Why did you do this?
I thought you always wanted. I don't know. Look, regardless,
No,
he
it was
wanted
in an
another
interview that I saw at some Comic-Con that was put online, I think, last summer. It was at like a Louisiana Comic-Con, and he was asked that question.
Oh.
And then he said Excelsior at the end, and everybody went crazy.
Well, regardless, Stan Lee wanted something, but wanted another Gwen Stacy. So they're like, Jackal, we already set this up, clone. And it was actually kind of interesting because it did honestly give Peter the opportunity to choose Gwen Stacy again over MJ. But he realized that, he had moved on in a sense. Even though this was only like kind of a year after she had died. 6 months to a year after she had died. but he hadn't moved on, but he chose MJ in the future over Gwen Stacy, and so the clone just kind of leaves and is never mentioned
So maybe
again.
she's the one that comes back.
I don't think so.
I'm hoping that's what happens.
I don't know.
Just because it would be really stupid if.
Well, on the teaser cover, hold on. It's an oh come on, load, you stupid thing. It's here it is. Hold up. I'm gonna maximize this image. Load. All right, here we go. On the cover, it has Kane, a bunch of the people Spider-Man's let die in the background. It's got Doc Ock with like really weird new arms.
Who's Kane again?
Kane is Spider-Man's evil clone. It's got Rhino, Electro, the Lizard. Okay, they're not technically dead. They're just super duper incarcerated. Madam Web. So it looks like it's gonna be intense. I don't know. Not sure how I feel about Gwen Stacy being back. I'm hoping it's just the clone, and they're just like, LOL, guys, remember? There's been a clone running around the Marvel universe since like the 60s. And I'm like, okay.
Yeah. I really hope that's what happens.
Yeah, you and me both.
Or they bring in Spider-Gwen.
That doubtful.
Yeah, because there's like 5 or 6 spider people running around New York City at this point.
Basically.
I mean, there's Amazing Spider-Man,
Mm-hmm.
Miles Morales,
Yeah.
Spider-Man 2099, Silk, and Spider-Woman.
Yeah. So there's too many spider people already.
And everybody gets confused whenever a different Spider-Man shows up.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, Spider-Man, what are you doing here? And Spider-Man goes, what? I've never seen you before.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yes you have. We fought the other week. It's like, oh god, stop. Too many spider people.
I get it. Spider-Man is your big ticket item. Stop it.
Yeah, but I mean, especially Spider-Man 2099 being in the present day.
Yeah, I'm not.
Just does not work.
No, it does not.
Okay. Final thoughts on Civil War. After credit scenes.
Phenomenal.
The first one. Do you think there could be a cameo by Cap in Black Panther?
Yes.
Do you think Sam is there with him?
I wouldn't doubt it. I mean, he and Sam have been together this whole time. They're bros.
Mm-hmm. And then, second after credit scene. You think he's going to use that little spider symbol?
Yeah, I think he will. There might be setting up for the Iron Spider, which is, Spider-Man's Tony Stark designed suit. Which, I don't know. It was definitely...
I hope not.
It was definitely one of Spidey's best suits. But I feel like they'd be kind of rushing things to put that in there.
Yeah, and red is, apparently the hardest color to capture on film. Which is why in the first 3 Spider-Men, he had those bumpy silver outlines.
Mm.
Like he has on his costume, except they're black in the comics.
Interesting. Alright.
Okay, but that's it.
Yeah. Phenomenal
That's the end
movie.
of the
I
podcast.
recommend everybody see it.
Especially fans of the cinematic universe.
Oh my god, it was awesome.
You definitely cannot go into it blind, though. Just watch Cap 1, Cap 2, and Age of Ultron.
I don't even think you need to watch Cap 1. I'd just say watch Cap 2 and Age of Ultron.
Yeah, but to get the overall story of Peggy. To feel that emotion.
Yeah, that's fair.
I mean, really watch all the Cap movies and all the Iron Man
Well, I mean,
movies.
it's technically the third Cap movie, so it's a sequel to a Cap movie, so you really should already... Anyway.
But it brings in all the other Avengers.
Yeah.
And to see Tony Stark's change from what he was to what he is is also a good thing.
Yeah.
Alright. That is officially the end.
Alright.
Follow the podcast on Facebook at 2 Idiots Movie Podcast. And subscribe to the YouTube channel and share with all the friends that you have.
Yay. That was really...
So they can listen to us.
That was really enthusiastic, Adam. I'm proud of you.
Share with all your friends!
There you go.
Woo!
There you go.
There you go.
Alright. Bye, everyone.
Alright. See ya.
Bye.